I don't know where this is going, but I know who holds my hand. It's not the path I would have chosen, but I'll follow you till the end. Lord, as long as I am breathing, I will make your glory known, even if it means I'm walking on this desert road. On this desert road.
Frosty morning today. Ouch. What does that mean when you bite me? She's like, you need to be petting me or I'm gonna chew on you.
I'm petting ya, little goof. He's like, is that something to scratch on?
Pretty much. Made a new friend here, I guess. We're out here hanging out with the sheep. And this little jumping spider hop up here with me.
What is it?
Don't really want a spider in my glove.
Oh, it just jumped.
Did he jump? Yeah, jumping spider.
It's funny, it's like a magic.
I already tried to put him on the ground and he started crawling down onto the grass and then came right back up.
I'm gonna shoot the bow and arrow. Perfect. That guy
All right, I put this jumping spider on the ground and he was down there for probably a good 10 minutes or more. And I just felt something on my arm and shook it and I looked on my shirt and he was back.
Oh, good for Dane. I think he's
How cool is that?
It's funny that he got back.
More storms rolling in tonight, thunderstorms, tornado watch, all the fun stuff. At this point, we can definitely say that spring is here. The spring flush has started. It's nice to see the improvement in the pasture from last year after rotating the sheep through. And we get to learn a little bit more watching the sheep over the spring and summer. So we got some poison ivy and sticker bushes and multiflora rose and all kinds of stuff in here. We had 2 different paddocks set up. It was kind of split down the middle. That's why we still have this green in here. But I just wanted to show you guys what sheep will do to an area like this. I mean, this right here was as thick with ivy and all this stuff as this little spot is right here. But the sheep completely went in and just demolished it. We only had them in each one of these sections for a half a day. So they were over here for half a day. You can see this line right here. And then they were over here for half a day. And you can see where the line for the fence was over here. And they had a decent sized paddock, but you can see where the line for their fence went. Kind of went out and around. But look what they did to these bushes, man. They ate pretty much all the ivy that was in there. And they went in and just cleared this out in here. And then their next paddock we had set up around this mess of brush and trees here, and man, they basically had this spot for less than a day. And this was thicker in here than that. And look what they did in here. They went inside, they went back in there, and they even started going through and dragging stuff out. But man, they ate everything. Look at that. This was solid green down here. You can see up above where they didn't reach. But look at this, man. I couldn't believe it. They were all back in there. Pretty impressive. I mean, you couldn't see back in there at all. And that was not even a full day of being around this spot. That's 11 sheep. So this is the line of their old fence when they were over here. Come on. Come on. Come here, Joe. So the spring growth, the spring flush that we're seeing is pretty encouraging. The grass is really tall here. There's a great diversity of plant species, and most of it is stuff that the sheep are going to eat. I mean, this has always been the best part of our pasture, but this is definitely better than it was even last spring. There's clover and vetch and different species of grass and everything that the sheep like to eat and everything that helps make for good soil. Stuff that's going to add nitrogen back to the soil, and I think every year we're going to continue to see improvement. One thing that we really like about this area is all the trees. The rest of the property only has trees pretty much on the perimeter. So we yesterday went and planted a few trees. We're kind of taking some from the edges, and we're going to plant a few here and there throughout our pasture, and hopefully some of those will take and grow, and that'll offer some shade for the animals and some shade for the soil, because it gets pretty hot here in the summer. It's well over 100 degrees most days during the summertime, so shade is definitely helpful. Busted. He's over there scratching his back on the ground. It's reaching the end of April. We're expecting most of these ewes to have lambs mid-May towards June. So it's going to be a really exciting time. That's the first lamb right there. She was born over winter. She's from a ewe that we bought already carrying a lamb. We didn't know it at the time, but pleasant surprise. Although it was in the middle of winter, we wouldn't have chosen it that way.
She's so funny.
To say these sheep are content is definitely an understatement right now. We practice rotational grazing with the sheep. We move them minimum once a day usually, depending on the size of the paddock and the conditions. Right now, with the amount of grass that they have, so this is 264 foot long electric netting fences. And so with this size, with these 11 sheep, they probably won't need to move, I'm guessing, until probably late morning tomorrow. Over the winter time, we were having to move them consistently at least twice a day, just because there wasn't much grass. So we were giving them some hay and some grain and some alfalfa to supplement their diet. But now we're not giving them anything except for their minerals and whatever they're grazing. And they're still leaving a bunch behind, actually. But it depends how much you concentrate them. I don't know if mob grazing is a term you can really use with sheep, because I don't think you get the intended results that you get with mob grazing cattle, but you can get kind of similar results if you concentrate them into a small paddock. The more you spread them out, usually, the more they're going to leave behind. But it's okay to leave a little bit. We want them to nip most of this stuff before it goes to seed, or before it's had a seed head for long. But if they leave a little bit behind, that's okay. think the difference with the sheep is that they will trample some down, but they're just not as big and heavy and impactful on the ground as cattle are. But they do have some impact. They do trample some for sure. We planted some trees back behind me yesterday, just a few, just for shade and, you know, shade for the sheep and shade for the soil. They probably are going to take a long time to grow, so that'll be hard to wait, but we'll see if they take. But the pasture's looking pretty good. I think the sheep are already making a big difference out here.